Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you, Lorraine, for this kind introduction. And good evening, Brisbane. My voice is already resonating. How many of you have been to South America? Nobody in the audience? Only one of you. Only Josie, only Cheryl, only two of you. I've been all over the world, as you know. I've worked as a doctor, 4 continents, 4 countries. And I thought adventure has followed me all over the world. So I thought enough is enough. Now it's time for a break. So I stopped seeking adventure. But unfortunately, adventure follows me. A spate of adventures all my life that I finally decided to go to South America. Here's a map of South America. Which is your favorite South American country, Mara?
I would be interested in going to Colombia.
For the drugs, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Now, my surname is Arana, which is Portuguese. But despite that, Brazil is the only country that speaks Portuguese. All the other countries speak Spanish. So words like caramba, you hear that a lot. Words like que pasa. My favorite country is actually Uruguay. Uruguay, I think, has got the loveliest people in the world, the most friendliest, the most beautiful people in the world. Unlike what Donald Trump pays all those supermodels to come from Venezuela for his company, that's all a sham. It's actually Uruguay that's got the most beautiful women in the world, most beautiful people in the world. For the sake of this discussion, let's bring in a heroine. Let's bring in Julia Roberts, my favorite actress of all. Which is your favorite movie of all, Upeka, amongst these? Excellent! That's my favorite as well. The story begins when she goes to a country called San Theodoros, a fictional country, ruled by this dictator, Tapioca. And he kidnaps Julia Roberts. And then he asks Julia Roberts, call out for help from one person in the world. And she goes through the jail cell, through the media, world's media. And I am called to help out. Heavens, why me? Because apparently she liked all my YouTube videos she was watching in jail. So then, let me just sidetrack a bit. Because Tapioca is a dictator, but he has a rival. His name is Alcazar. This is a classic South American appearance. The big jaw, the short stature, the mustache, the small eyes, rubbing a knife, about to throw knives, the classic South American hat, smoking big cigars. In South America, you know, every 5 minutes one dictator deposes another dictator and takes over power. That's very common. Alcazar is banished to his jungle. He's got about 40 mercenaries with him. They are known as the Picaros. The jungle lies between the airport and the capital of San Theodoros. Now in the Qantas lounge, one of Alcazar's spies meets me, called Pablo. And Pablo tells me, Algenes, you're going to be killed. The whole thing is just a decoy. You're going to be killed if you go through the government-sponsored Tapioca convoy from the airport to the city center through the jungle. So I say, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? But he says, luckily for you, your friend Alcazar is also there, and Tapioca doesn't know that, and there are going to be false shots fired, and the convoy is going to stop, and we're going to rescue me and take me into Alcazar's camp in the jungle. And the plan goes exactly to plan, and I get rescued by Alcazar. Shots are fired into Tapioca's convoy to the hotel room from the airport, and I am reunited with my friend Alcazar after many years. Can you name these South American animals I saw in the jungle? Who can name them? Brooke?
Anaconda down the road.
Absolutely true, yes. What a massive snake. John, top right.
Is it the llama?
Yeah, they're called alpacas, yes, llamas as well, also known as alpacas. They like to spit on humans. And that's a crocodile, but they call it a caiman. Carnival time. It so happens that there's a carnival in San Theodoros. How many of you have been to a carnival? And then a bus full of British tourists gets lost in the jungle. And it arrives into Alcazar's camp, where I'm there, by mistake. And they ask Alcazar, which is the direction to Tapioca's capital for the carnival? And then a light bulb switches in my head. Aha! Here's a golden opportunity to rescue Julia Roberts and dispose Tapioca at the same time, 2 in 1. So here's my plan. In the middle of the night, all the 40 Picaros, Alcazar and me, we slowly climb into the bus. We put on the costumes of all the British tourists and we steal the tourists' bus and we drive into the capital city. Here's the arrogant Tapioca with all his generals enjoying the carnival, seeing people from all over the world. Here's us And we are singing, we are the Jolly Follies, hey noddy no, hey noddy no. And then we enter Tapioca's palace. We mingle with the guards. Top right hand column, we chloroform the guards. They are chloroformed, they fall in the middle. Then top left hand, we pinch their guns and we slowly climb up the stairs. That's Alcazar, me and the Picaros. And then we corner Tapioca, and Alcazar puts a gun on Tapioca's head and says, do you recognize me? And pulls down the mask. Then Alcazar puts a gun on Tapioca's head and says, read this message, we're going to play it on national radio. And the message says, I surrender power to Alcazar. But then, what about Julia Roberts? She's about to be killed. She's about to be executed by a firing squad. We got to save her. So we tell Tapioca's assistant, how many minutes for the execution? But he struggles. We don't have time. We rush. But the roads are crowded. How can we get to the execution in time to stop it? The phones are all dead. Turns out there's this big float of a gigantic king. It's driven by a car at the bottom. So we hijack it and we go on top to the mouth of the king, and we put all of us are in the mouth of the king with our guns, and we go right where Julia Roberts is about to be killed, and we point guns to the firing squad and tell them stop, and the execution is halted in time, and Julia Roberts is saved. And here she is so grateful to me, showing me all her love. Alcazar returns to power. He wants to give me a lot of money, he wants to give me titles. I said, I'm not interested in your money, I'm not interested in your titles, just want to go home. I've had enough of adventure. And that's the end of this magnificent adventure in South America. If any one of you want to go to South America, I would highly recommend Uruguay, best country in the world. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Good night.
Thank you, Algenes. What an interesting story. Not the sort of thing